Okay, hi. So this is the second question. Okay, this is the second question, and it is asking to check whether two linked lists are equal or not. Okay, now what makes two linked lists equal? Now, first of all, these are, let's just assume these are my linked lists. Okay, apologies that my handwriting is very bad. I kindly apologize for that. Okay, now what makes two linked lists equal? Okay, so two cases we are going to consider. First of all, the data in each of the linked list has to be same at every position. Okay, has to be same in the means that the node position has to be same even. For example, this the 2 is present here, it should be present here on the second node in the second is auto. It cannot be present here and 3 can be present here. No, this is not going to be an identical thing. Why? Because 2 is on the third node here and 2 is on the second node here. Similarly, 3 is on the second node here and 3 is on the third node there. So that is not going to make our list identical. What is going to make our list identical? The data should be same and the position of the node where that data is present has to be same too. Okay, so it should be 2, it should be 3, it should be 2, and it should be 3. Okay, this is the first condition, that the data has to be same. Okay, now what is second condition? Second condition means length of list has to be equal. Length of L1 should be equals to length of L2. Okay, and L1 dot data has to be equals to L1 L2 dot data. These two conditions has to match for two linked lists to be identical in our question. Okay, now how can we write the code? Now let's just think about that. Okay, so first of all, what do we have in a linked list? If you remember, in linked list we have a head. Okay, so let's just suppose these are our two linked lists. Okay, this is h1 head 1 and this is s2, and here the data is 1 2 3 and again 1 2 3. Now tell me, are these links identical? Think about it. Take 2 minutes 3 minutes and think that whether these two lists are identical or not. Pause the video and think. Okay, so two condition was there, right? The length of list should be equal. Okay, so here the length of list is 3. Here it is also 3. Okay, one of the condition is satisfied. Another condition was the data has to be same. So here 1 and 1 same. Then we are going to go here and check 2 and 2 same. Then we are going to go here and check 3 and 3 and same. And now we have encountered null. We'll come out of the loop and we'll see that the first condition also satisfied, which means we can say that these two lists are identical. Okay, now are these two lists are identical? This one, L2 and L3, are these two are identical or not? They are not, right? Because the length is different, right? Similarly, if it was 2 and 1, they are still not identical. Let's just suppose it was 3 here. Now the length are same, but the data are different, right? Here it is 1 and here it is 2. So we cannot say our list is identical. Okay, now what about null list? When both the lists are null. What do you mean by when both the lists are null? When h1 is also null and when s2 is also null. Then these are identical, right? Because there is no list here, right? The length is also same because the length is 0 and the data is same because both does not contain any data. So both the conditions are satisfied also here, satisfied here also. So which means these two are also identical. Okay, now let's just see how we are going to write the code for this question. Okay, so we have to list. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to compare. So we have what we have right now. We have h1. H1 is basically pointing to this particular list. H2 is basically pointing to this particular list. Okay, we are going to compare the data. Okay, we are going to do if the data are not equal, we are going to return false, which means they are not identical. Okay, we are not going to proceed further. We are just going to return false. Okay, if they are equal, then what we are going to do? We are going to go here and check their data. If these are also identical, then we are going to go here and check this data. If these are also identical, then we are going to come here and check this data. Okay, now how do we know we have encountered the end of the list? The next h1 dot next, the next pointer will become false. will become null, not false, null. So it will become null. Okay. The moment it becomes null, we are going to say that our list has ended. We have reached at the end of the list. Okay. Similarly, if we have reached the end of this list, but we have not reached the end of this list, what does it mean? It means the length of both the lists are different, right? Both the lists are different. S2 is still not, we are not at the end of the S2 string yet. Okay, so what we are going to write? Okay, so first of all, we are going to take two pointer, okay, temporary pointer A1, which will be, H1, what H1 was pointed to, which is your head. B will be S2. Okay, so node A and node B. Okay, now we are going to run a loop. Loop until when? Until when each one of the values become null. Okay, so we are going to say A not equals to null and B not equals to null. Okay, then what we are going to do, we are going to write a simple logic. If A dot data is not equals to B dot data, what does it mean? Which means the data in both of these are different, which means our linked lists are not identical. We are simply going to return false from here. Okay, but if they are equal, then what we are going to do? We are going to check the other next node. So A will become A dot next and B will become B dot next. And we are going to run this. Okay, so our loop is running. Yeah, these are our list. Okay, so our loop is running. Okay, this is equal, this is equal, this is equal. Okay, now next time here it becomes null. So now A becomes null, so we are going to come out of the loop. So there are only two conditions for which we are going to come out of the loop. What are those two conditions? Either A becomes null or B becomes null. One of them becomes null. Okay, now if both of them becomes null, which means our links list are identical, right? And if only one of them becomes null, which means they are not identical. So what we are going to write, we are going to simply write this line only. This basically means if both of the if A and B both are null, then only return true. Otherwise, this is going to return false. That is what I have done in this code. Now let me take you through the code again. Okay. Yeah. So this is list dot head and list b dot head. Okay, this is A and B. What I'm going to run a loop until when? Until one of them becomes null. Okay, and I'm going to check the data. If the data are not equal, I'm going to return false. If they are equal, I'm going to point to the next pointer, go to the next node. So this is what I have done in these two lines, 17 and 18. Okay, now if one of them becomes null, I'm going to come out of the loop. Now if both of them are null, only then I'm going to return true. Otherwise, I'm going to return false. So this is what this is going to do. Okay, so this is mine. This is how this is happening. So if you have any question, feel free to ask me. Feel free to contact me and contact my team. Okay, that's it.